So today we're going to be doing another Dark Souls challenge run. Within this run we're only going to be using faith-based weapons and or spells, pyromancies, miracles, however you want to call it. We're only going to be doing damage with faith-based things. So here we named our character Faithful Frank, and we picked the pyromancy class because we need fireball to actually be able to do damage with a faith-based thing off the rip. With that, we run past the asylum demon. I'm going to say this now. You can see my character will just start walking at some points. I actually have incredibly bad stick drift, and my controller is super messed up. So I'm hoping we'll be able to fix that at some point. I probably am just going to buy a new controller soon. Here we grab Pyromancy Flame, which we need to actually cast our fireball. And we go in to fight the Asylum Demon. Yes, I did do a plunging attack on him, but I just was scared that my character was going to die, so please forgive me for that 30 damage I did to him. Now we start using Fireball. It's a very fast fight because it is the tutorial. We're doing almost 150 to the Asylum Demon, so our damage is actually quite good for starting out. We also have 8 casts of Fireball, so we can kill a good amount of early game bosses just by using this bow right here, which is nice. Faith-based weapons actually are not bad. They're not underpowered or anything like that. Here we go, grab a talisman so we can start using our miracles, and we grab the homeward bones. Now here I do a soul dupe so that we can get our faith up to 25, and I'll show you why we did that. Here we grab another soul right outside the door, and another soul right in between the undead dragon. Here we grab a bonfire and level up our faith up to 25. We grab the Grass Crest Shield for the extra stamina, and we run past Andre and grab the bonfire for the Undead Berg, or the Gargoyles fight, however you want to look at it. Here we actually run around and grab the bonfire right on the bridge and join the Sunlight Covenant. With this, we get the offensive miracle of Lightning Spear. We will be using that miracle for a while in this run. We grab the Firekeeper Soul and get the shortcut to Firelink Shrine. With the Firekeeper Soul, we reinforce our Estus Flask and go on to fight the Gargoyles. This fight was pretty easy. We have super high DPS, mostly because of the 25 strength, or 25 faith, but we needed that to join the Covenant, so I decided to give us that low boost at the start. You can see we do 330 damage, which is quite good. It's just, man, I really do not like the Gargoyles fight, but hey, it's mandatory. We need it for the Bell of Awakening. It's mostly just because of the double fire, but once you get one of them down and it's back to a single gargoyle, it's pretty easy. So here we beat them and ring the first Bell of Awakening. We put some levels into attunement so we can actually carry around some more spells, and we get the Favors and Protection Ring by shield bashing this guy off the cliff. It's pretty funny, he just flies off. There you go. Quit out and grab it right off the floor. That gives us some stamina and HP boost, which is nice. Now we go into Lower Undead Berg because we need to go into the depths. Here we're fighting the Capra Demon, also a really easy fight, mostly just because we have range on him. The only hard part about the fight was really the dogs. super annoying. You see I actually almost died like twice there. But once we get one fireball off, they both die. And we can actually sit right up here and lightning spear down right on top of Capra Demon's head. But he starts slowly walking up, and we start using fireballs. Does a little bit less damage, but a lot faster. Now we go down to the depths, and we save this pyromancy guy, who will actually help us and allow us to upgrade some of our weapons, or our pyromancies. Here we do another soul dupe, just so I can clear out his inventory. And also, we upgrade our pyromancy flame to +5. We don't max it all the way, I just think it'd make it too easy. Now we go into Blighttown. Grab the bonfire in the little sewer entrance. And we actually will not have enough damage with only our lightning spears, so we grab another pyromancy that will boost our damage for a short time. This pyromancy is Power Within, and it's a damage buff, and once you put it on yourself, it actually drains your health slowly, but you get a boost in damage, so that's kind of the drawback. The fight with Quelaag is pretty easy. You just kind of play cat and mouse with her. You run away, wait for her to attack, and then cast a few times. As you can see, the lightning spear is putting in work, and the reason why we actually had to grab that buff and we can only use lightning spear is because Quelaag is completely immune to fire damage. So yeah, and you see we only had one lightning spear left even with the buff, so it was pretty close, but we got her down. Now we ring the second bell of awakening. Talk to the daughter of chaos, join her covenant, and we get a pyromancy for doing that. Then we upgrade our pyromancy as much as we can with the souls from Quelaag, and we go fight Ceaseless Discharge. Kind of a gimmicky fight once you know how to sort of cheese him. Some would say it's a cheese, but I guess it's intentional. But I just wanted to get him out of the way early, so when we backtrack here later in the game to get a Lord Soul, it's just a bit easier. So what he'll do, he'll be non-hostile until you grab this set of armor. Wait here, he'll spew up lava, and then you just continue running by. You run all the way back to where we entered, and he'll chase us down from there. And once he gets down to the entrance of the arena, he'll actually try to plunge over and hit us, but he'll get, caught on the sledge because there's a little pit that he jumps over. And with that, we just have to hit his hand a few times and he'll die. You can punch him, but I don't know, I felt obligated to lightning spear him instead of punch. And then he'll fall off. So it's pretty easy once you know how to do that. Now we go back and continue to upgrade our Pyromancer Flame and get up to +10. Here we go down to the Catacombs, and we're actually going to get another Offensive Miracle. It's kind of odd, but I'll explain how we go and get it. But first we have to fight Pinwheel. He's a pretty easy boss fight, but he gets really annoying when he starts spawning in all of his doubles, but we got it done relatively fast. You'll see why, as you see right there, he gets a ton of his doubles in. We actually almost die to their lingering fireballs, but we barely make it and get the Rite of Kindling, which is pretty cool because you can actually get 20 Estus Flask from doing that. Now we come to the Tomb of Giants. We let Patches kick us down and get the Skull Lantern, and we're going to need that to be able to see, which here we find this girl that was on a pilgrimage. She got kicked down by Patches, and her people got turned hollow, and they went crazy, so we had to go kill them. Sadly, all of our footage of Sin's Fortress got deleted, so I'll just make a quick little representation of how the boss fight went against Iron Golem. And now we appear in Anor Londo. We have to run across the top of this building. Then we push this lever to crank down this giant winding staircase. We grab a ring that boosts our miracle damage. We make this knight fall off and game end himself. And then we grab the little hidden bonfire close to Ornstein smoke. Ornstein smoke was a kind of odd boss fight. So Ornstein is basically completely immune to lightning damage, which can get pretty annoying when we wanted to hit him from afar, because our only super ranged attack is our lightning spear. So first thing we did was get off all of our Wrath of Gods that we had, because it's actually one of our hardest hitting spells. And we do all of that onto Ornstein. And then we have to move on to pyromancies because, as I said, none of the miracles will actually hurt him. So we're going to do fireballs because they will do the most damage. As you can see, the process is very, very slow. This boss fight was actually super drawn out because Ornstein was not being as, he wasn't being as aggressive as he usually is. I don't know why, but I guess I'll take it because the fight went semi-safely, I guess. It wasn't the cleanest fight either, as you can see by all the hits I was getting from smoke, but that's alright. There's not much you can do about it. It was just mostly this Ornstein phase took forever because he just kept bunny hopping around. Just being annoying, but once we got him down, the values got pretty easy. So we would buff with Power Within just to get as much damage as we could with our lightning spears onto Ornstein. And we could do the same thing we did with Quelaag with just playing cat and mouse. So we would draw out an attack, hit him, run away, and continue that cycle. So it really wasn't a hard fight. It was mostly just HP, conserving our HP and making sure we were getting as much damage as we could in. Most of his attacks you actually can strafe, so it's not that bad. The best attack he could actually do was his lawnmower attack. Or I guess it's not a lawnmower, it's more like shoveling. But when he does that, he has a pretty long wind up and everything. You can see I was watching a YouTube video on Silent Hill 2. Pretty interesting game. I may want to move into doing horror games at some point if anyone would be down to watch that. I'd love to see comments about it, but of course, I'm going to keep making content that you guys like, and it seems as if you like Dark Souls content, so I'm going to continue doing that. And I do apologize for the super long boss fight here, but, it is what it is. The rest are pretty fast, alright, so cut me some slack, right? Now we get a bonfire and upgrade our faith a good amount. And we go to Gwyn, where we get the Lord Vessel. This time we actually buy the Crest of Artoris from Andre, so I kept my promise. I am not going to kill him again, because the last 3 runs in a row we've killed him, so I'm changing it up. And we place the Lord Vessel. And we kill the Hydra because we actually need a certain NPC item. So we have to kill this big old golden golem. It's pretty easy to kill with pyromancies. He takes a good amount of damage. And then out of him, the Dusk of Ulasil will appear. And she'll tell us, yada yada yada, will you help me? And if you ever need me, fucking call me up, basically. So we do, and we get her armor set. And the Crown of Dusk actually gives you a 30% buff on magic, which actually includes, like, all these other things, such as pyromancies, miracles, and magic. So we get a pretty big buff to our damage. Now we use Crest of Arcturus, and we grab the stone armor. And then we go on to fight Sif. He's really not that bad with our big boost in damage. With our ring stacked on top of the new crown that we have, we actually kind of start beating up bosses pretty quick. So you can see right there we got over, there's going to be around 1,600 damage alone just with our Wrath of God. So we're getting pretty strong. It's a pretty fast boss fight. Now we go down to New Londo Ruins, where we go through the ghost house. And we get the key to the seal. Then we open up this door with our new key and push the lever. After that, we go back down to the demon ruins, kill this giant bug in the wall to get our bonfire. And then we go take on Demon Fire Sage. Also, another fight that we just use our Wrath of the Gods at the start. And then we go and play cat and mouse with the boss. So that's what we did. We would just lock on, hit him, back up, lock on, hit him. And, I mean, it went pretty well. I don't know if Demon Fire Sage takes any damage from pyromancies or fire attacks. I didn't get to test it out this run. But thankfully we had enough damage with our lightning spears and Wrath of the Gods, so we didn't have to. Now we grab the bonfire right outside of Centipede Demon, and we go fight him. So, from what I understand, Centipede Demon takes little to no damage from fire attacks. As you see, he's just walking in lava, so it makes sense. So, we use our buff and we get ready. We have to draw him all the way out to this big old area where we can actually fight him. And we just get as close as we can to him and his head and his legs so we can spam our Wrath of the Gods. And then from there, we move on to lightning spears, which can get a bit awkward when you're standing under him, because it'll just go either like in his armpit or just right by him. It's kind of annoying. Like you can see, it just went under his leg, but we hit him in the knee, got him. Another pretty easy boss fight. And we get his ring. Now we grab the secret bonfire right outside of the Bed of Chaos. And we go to take on the Bed of Chaos. One of my least favorite bosses in this game. It's just sort of, I don't know, it's not very good, honestly. Well, at this point in time in the run, we actually only had 10 vitality, so she would one-shot us. So it was pretty annoying, but we get our 2 bulbs, and then we go down after dying a few times, and we just have to roll through her, God, I don't know, branches and hit the little bug in her stomach. I don't really know the lore behind it, but there we go. We got her. She's dead, thankfully. And there's our Lord Soul. Now, we grab a bonfire back down at the Tomb of the Giants, and we go fight Lord Nito. He was also a pretty easy boss fight, but we had to use our shield because of one of his big AoE attacks, which you'll see soon. First, we get up as close to him as we can and use our Wrath of Gods. And here's the AoE attack. It actually works in our favor more than it does in his because he kills his little minions. So it's just kind of getting stuff off of our, tail. And we just block with our shield really, and it'll just kill. We're doing 500 to hit with Lightning Spear, so we're hitting pretty heavy. So also another pretty easy boss fight. He actually almost does kill us though right here. Got pretty close, but we finished out strong. And that is our second Lord Soul down. Now we go into Duke Archive, and we go up the elevator, which leads us to another elevator, which we also go up. And then we take the scripted death against Seath the Scaleless. I made sure to not get cursed here, because being cursed is one of the worst things ever. If you don't know, it takes, I believe, half of your HP away, and I do not have the item to cure it, so we get out of our cell and grab the giant door key, which we go and open the giant door with. Then we get past all the little rotating stair puzzles and go down the giant ladder, which leads us to this secret bonfire. Pull the lever and the bookcase goes backwards, leads you to this bonfire right here. And then we go fight Seath. So he was also pretty easy. We get up in his little tentacle armpit by his stomach and start hitting him with our Wrath of Gods. We use our lightning spears as ranged attacks as much as we can for when he spews ice, just like that. We had him in a pretty good cycle to where he would just go higher or lower. Then he did his giant AoE attack, so we had to move backwards and wait for him to get on this side of the arena so we could safely dodge another AoE attack just in case if it happened. But thankfully it didn't, and we ended up just sort of taking him down with our lightning spears after that. I don't know what I was thinking. I could have just fought him from range the whole fight, but I decided that I wasn't. So that's alright. That's our third Lord Soul down, and actually my favorite boss in the game down. Now we go back to New Londo Ruins, and we head into the Abyss to fight the Four Kings. The Four Kings is a pretty annoying fight. It's really just how much damage can you do in a short amount of time. Thankfully we do have a lot of damage, but we don't have a lot of health. Still only have 10 vigor. So we kind of get clapped up by these guys if they hit us even once, but with some persistence I continuously fought them over and over again, and we just sort of got lucky that they didn't try to grab us. So a tip for this fight is to get as close as you can with the Four Kings, as in like the king itself. Try to get really close up to him, and his his attacks will do less damage because he'll hit you with like his hand or the hilt of his sword. So it's actually not hitting you with blade, so technically it does less damage. I don't know, it's kind of goofy. But here's us getting grabbed several times in a row. Yeah, I was definitely raging a bit there, but it's fine. Like I said, with some persistence, we beat the Four Kings. It just took forever. We used all of our flasks, and we had to move on to humanity. But all that matters is that we won, and yeah, it's not my favorite boss fight, but you gotta beat him. So there you go. There's our fourth Lord Soul. Now we put all of the Lord Souls in the Lord Vessel. Pretty cool animation. And now we have access to the final boss in the game, which is Gwyn. Here we go to fight him, and we're actually going to use parries to beat him, which isn't too bad after you learn how to actually do it. That's one of the worst attacks. This is grab, because that thing will kill you. So the strategy here is just to get a parry off, and then use a cast of a spell. So you can see our Wrath of Gods actually does quite a bit of damage to him. With all 3 casts, he's about at half health. Sadly, I did not roll here, so we got grabbed, but luckily he did not kill us. So we heal up real quick and get back to parrying. Once you kind of get your rhythm in it, it's not too bad. Weirdly enough though, Gwyn is kind of not fire resistant. He's actually somewhat weak to fire, which I found odd because his sword is literally made of fire, and he lives in a like ash land. I don't know, but maybe it doesn't correlate. But hey, he is resistant to lightning though, so we couldn't use lightning spears. Almost died here, but hey, whatever. Close fight, it's cool. So yeah, there you go. Cool Howl's armor too, kind of like it. But we kept the crown on because we got to keep looking like a pretty little princess. And a new shield. There you go. We got the soul of Gwyn. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. This was faith only, so we only used faith damage. So yeah. Also, I want to thank everyone who has already subscribed for all the support. We've been growing exponentially as of late, and I just really appreciate it. We had a video hit over 2,000 views, which is insane. We were at 50 subscribers maybe 2 days ago, and now we're at 70, and just before that we were at 10. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys, and please leave any suggestions, remarks, anything in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.